the deep dive. Today we're doing something a bit different, diving into one very specific, quite old text. We're looking at William Boericke's Homeopathic Materia Medica. It's basically this huge catalog of symptoms linked to homeopathic substances, and we're focusing on just one entry, Bismuthum subnitricum. So what we're trying to do here is unpack this really detailed description, see how it captures symptoms, and maybe what it tells us about, a certain way of looking at illness back then.
Exactly. And Boericke flags its main action as irritation and this sort of catarrhal inflammation, the mucous membranes, mainly in the digestive system, the alimentary canal.
Right, the gut.
Yeah, the gut. But what's really interesting, as you said, is how the symptom picture he paints goes way beyond just digestion. It pulls in mood, sensations. It's quite broad.
Okay, so let's start where Boericke starts, which, maybe surprisingly, given the gut focus, is the mind. What does he say there?
Well, yeah, it's striking. He leads with this really strong emotional element. Things like solitude is unbearable.
Unbearable. Wow.
Yeah. And a clear desire for company. But also feelings of anguish, being really discontent.
So right away, it's linking a substance to, deep emotional states.
Precisely. And that's sort of fundamental to the homeopathic view, isn't it? This holistic idea that your mental state and your physical feelings are totally intertwined. It's not just about a physical problem in isolation. It's about the whole person. These descriptions often came from provings where they'd observe effects on healthy people, trying to map out the substance's unique signature,
Got it. Okay, let's pivot to the stomach then, which you mentioned was the main area. Boericke's descriptions sound pretty intense.
Oh, they are. Very vivid. You get things like vomits, convulsive gagging and pain.
Convulsive gagging. Okay.
But maybe the most specific detail is this. Water is vomited as soon as it reaches the stomach.
Immediately.
Seems like it. And he adds, all fluids are vomited.
Yeah.
Like the stomach just instantly rejects liquid.
How dramatic.
It is. And then there's this paradox. He notes that cold drinks actually bring relief temporarily.
Okay, so cold feels good.
But then the vomiting happens again once the stomach gets full from the drink. It's this cycle. And there's more this feeling of a load in the stomach, like a weight. And this phrase, inexpressible pain, which forces the person to actually bend backwards.
Bend backwards, not forwards like you often do with stomach pain.
Exactly, backwards. It paints such a specific picture of the distress, doesn't it? You almost feel like you can see the person.
Yeah, you really can. And it doesn't stop at the stomach, does it? He connects it to the head.
Right. There's this alternating pattern. Headache alternates with gastralgia. Gastralgia being severe stomach pain.
So head pain or stomach pain, but not both at once.
Seems to be the idea. And the head pain itself is described really graphically, as if torn by pincers.
Ouch!
Yeah. And it involves the face, the teeth, too, this neuralgic kind of pain. And again, there's a temperature thing. Worse from eating, but better with cold.
Cold again. Interesting theme. What about the mouth itself?
Also very specific. He mentions swollen gums, toothache that feels better holding cold water in the mouth.
Makes sense with the cold preference.
But the most visually arresting detail, I think, is about the tongue. Black, gangrenous-looking wedges on dorsum and sides of tongue.
Black wedges.
Yeah.
Gangrenous looking. That sounds pretty serious.
It does. Dorsum is the top surface.
Yeah.
It suggests something quite profound happening systemically, not just a local issue.
Wow. Okay, so we've got mind, stomach, head, mouth. Anywhere else surprising?
Well, yes. He brings in the heart and circulation. Notes, angina pectoris, pain around heart, left arm to fingers.
Which sounds a lot like classic angina symptoms we'd recognize today.
Very similar. And also this paralytic weakness, especially noted in the right arm.
Weakness, okay. Even sleep.
Even sleep isn't spared. It's described as restless on account of voluptuous dreams.
Voluptuous dreams. That's quite specific.
It really is. It shows how detailed this mapping was, trying to capture every little deviation from normal body and mind.
So after walking through all these really particular details for Bismuthum subnitricum, what's the takeaway for someone listening to this?
Well, I think this dive into Boericke shows you a medical viewpoint that's incredibly focused on mapping out a substance's effects in almost like narrative detail.
Yeah, it feels like a story sometimes.
It does. And it consistently ties together the mind, the body, the gut, the head, the heart, and even strange things like dream patterns or these specific temperature reactions. It really highlights that very individualized way of seeing illness.
It's definitely a unique way to look at how symptoms connect, or how they thought they connected. So for you listening at home, maybe the thought to carry away is this. When we try to understand and describe illness, What do we gain, or maybe what do we lose when we break things down into these incredibly distinct, yet seemingly interconnected little pieces of observation? Something to think about.